What is up, YouTube? This is That PlayStation Gamer. Today, we're responding to this video, Casual Gamers Ruined Gaming Response. Okay, so I'm full on confession here. I actually was making an edited version of a response video to this, but I decided not to. And the reason for it is very simply, I don't know if I could tolerate hearing her voice so long in my head and then clipping down the stuff, because that means I actually have to give this woman respect. I actually have to respect her in some way. I have to show her some kind of level of professionalism when I make that video. But I'm not gonna do it. I just decided not to because it's just not worth my time. I'd rather just make a quick little response here, just like Near did. Shout out to brother Near. Me and him might disagree on The Last of Us Part 2 and The Last of Us in general, but I can respectfully say agree to disagree. Everyone doesn't have to like the same thing, and that's kind of my hiccup with her. Really, when I think about it, because she's in this mindset that if you're not a hardcore gamer, then your opinion is irrelevant. You're ruining gaming because you want gaming to be more like movies or television shows, which we'll get into that. But I think this stuff is really stupid. I think that what makes gaming great is that everyone can enjoy video games. Not just the hardcore, but also the freaking, casuals. The little kids who are just learning, to pick up a controller for the first time or playing on their mom's phone, That's what makes gaming great, is when it's all inclusive, when everyone can get into gaming. But people like Anna don't want that. They don't want people to feel included. They just want people to be excluded because they had a hard time as a kid. So they feel like they have to project that, what would you call it, gatekeeping onto people. Like, oh no, you can't like video games if you like The Last of Us. You can't like video games if you like Halo, stuff like that. That's what she's essentially doing. She's gatekeeping a hobby just to have this superiority, compared to others. Like, haha, see, I can enjoy games. I'm allowed to, but you're not because you do this, this, and this. It's just, it's like if someone were to try to gatekeep anime, saying if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you're not allowed to like anime. If you watch Naruto, you're not allowed to like anime. Just I find that shit cringe. I find it cringe, and I find it very distasteful. So with that said, let's get into this. Hopefully everything's recording fine. Pain is no stranger to me.
It seems like ruffled feathers speaking the truth once again with my recent video.
Isn't it funny how that always happens? When you speak the truth. Yeah, I just find that also cringe. Just when people say, I spoke the truth. Like, oh my god. Just the self-entitlement, the self-righteousness is so blunt with her. And her little boy toy freaking synthetic man. They always think they're on the right side of history. They always think they're doing the right thing, even though they're being exclusive. They're excluding people from something they want to enjoy, or are telling people they can't like something or be in a movie or a TV show because of the color of their skin. I believe there's a word for that.
Ranting about casuals or ruining the gaming industry, because apparently casuals are the reason video games even exist. Yes, that's an actual argument these people use.
Can someone tell me what fucking game this is, by the way? Because this looks like trash. It's just, I'm gonna say it, man. This looks like trash. Look at this UI. Look at all this shit. This is like cancer. There's too much here. Oh my god. None of this, I don't know what any of this means, but it looks bad.
Where YouTubers have made response videos about this subject, and while you're free to make response videos, you are not free from my wrath. These videos are so stupid, full of
her wrath, aka she might get a little emotional. She's capable of emotion? Sincerely, like, watching her videos, I don't get the impression she really cares. To me, it comes off more as she's just talking about this stuff. She doesn't care enough. Her videos are so monotone. It's actually kind of toxic. It's like, she's like that quiet kid. I've said it in the previous video I did about her, where she's like that quiet kid in a room sitting there, go, like no one knows what she's saying because we can't hear her.
Straw man's misunderstanding points and overall just trying to add on to what I said to make me look bad in some way. Like, there's this one response video by this idiot named Krillix, which is the most hilarious video I've ever seen. I'm not gonna go over it, but I will give you some sticky notes about what he said, and I might show some clips, maybe.
I'm not showing their channels, don't give them more views. Also, require her to edit outside of just clipping getting a clip for a game and then put an audio over it and turn down the audio of the game. By the way, that's how you make these type of videos pretty quickly. I was doing it for a while, but then I decided I wanted to start doing more edited stuff because I actually want to be happy with the work I was doing. This is just like, this is stuff you could do on Share Factory easy without like much effort at all.
I also know this guy named Batakanta, Bakugan.
Batakanta. I don't even watch his stuff, but I know how to say his name. I think I've actually talked to him maybe once in a chat with Nier and by the way, yeah, again, shout out to brother Nier. He's like my brother. If I could just punch my brother in the face sometimes. Love you, Nier.
Look, say what you want about my channel, but at least my name is easy to say. AnnaWaifu, bam, rolls off the tongue. This is like one of the most baffling, responses I've ever seen to a video that I've ever made. Like, I could understand some hate to the Resident Evil 4 video, but this? Like, guys, why are you taking this video so seriously? It's clearly like an emotional opinion piece, but you guys are treating it like it's an analysis or something. But whatever, let's get into it. So I think the
first sign of unprofessionalism, when you call the people who disagree with you retards. Again, Nier does that shit, but that's more playful banner. But with her, I get a feeling she's sincere. And also, by the way, just saying, what was it? God damn it, I actually have to pull it back. But this is lazy as fuck. Why is this not like Chapter 1, the 2 dots, the retards? No, this is just, oh, she put this together real quick, like really quick. Is that actually how you spell retards? I don't know for sure. Probably is. I'm retarded, remember?
So I think the first thing I want to mention is how these so-called not casuals or casuals get angry when I say that casuals care about video games being movies. And their argument's just, well, it doesn't matter, they have fun, so why does it matter? Basically, the argument is, shut off your brain and enjoy it. If you have to tell me that I have to shut off my brain or just enjoy something while thinking deeper or any thought at all, then you just admitted that what you're talking about is going to be trash. If you care about story in a video game, then you care about games being like movies.
But video games have been telling stories for years. I mean, going back to the NES, freaking the booklet of Zelda would literally give you all the backstory you want. That's a part of the game. Yeah, games start becoming more cinematic. I wanted people to get this through their head. I want to make this clear as possible. The Last of Us, God of War, Spider-Man, basically Sony games. They are what we call cinematic games. They are not movie games, because movie games applies that you do nothing in the game. It applies there's no gameplay. It's just cussing. There's no in between. Even in a game like A Wolf Among Us, I would consider a cinematic game, because there is gameplay in between. I want to make this clear as possible. That it's not a movie, because a movie applies, you're just watching it and it unfolds the same way no matter what. There's no in between. There's no gameplay. Just saying. And there is gameplay in God of War Ragnarok and The Last of Us and freaking even a game like Detroit Become Human. I would actually say Detroit's more of a, I guess you would say, a movie. But it's like, even then, there is gameplay. I find it so weird that these people are in this mindset. This is a movie, but it's like a movie is something you are watching, not interacting with. So, I'm going to say that right now. And what's wrong with video games becoming more like movies? Having a cinematic experience. You want to know why? It's a good thing? Because then people get vested to the story. It makes people get more immersed outside of gameplay. What if people didn't like the gameplay, but they find the story compelling enough? They find the story compelling enough where they want to keep going through the story. That's what cinematic games could do. Even if the gameplay is not the best in the world, 10 out of 10, best thing ever, it could still be a good story that captivates the person enough to keep going through the game. Self-admitted, like Spider-Man 2018, where it was like the gameplay was okay. It got through. It was okay. But the story is what captivated a lot of people. It kept people going through the gameplay and into the next scene and seeing the next things to happen. What's wrong with that? That's the power video games have. And then they remember the gameplay and all the stuff they went through. And that's why they care more about the characters. Because they're spending more time with the characters than just seeing them on a screen and be like, okay, well, that's going to happen. Why do you think so many people got attached to characters like Rocket Raccoon or Gamora or the Star-Lord or Iron Man? Because we spent time with them. After watching all those movies with those characters, we got emotionally invested. The more time you spend with a character, the more time you get emotionally invested if you find the character compelling. Just say.
Just watch a movie or play games to play them. Like, not watch them as movies. I don't understand why the concept is you...
But no one plays video games just to watch the cutscenes. We don't start, explicitly like, okay, I'm going to watch all the cutscenes in this. Hell, most of the time, like some of those, playground, gamers playground videos, you miss a lot of the context if you're just watching only the cutscenes. Because you don't understand, like, why Ellie is so emotionally crippled, but after what she did to the Fireflies, or, what was it, like, the hospital, what she did to that girl in the hospital in Last of Us Part 2. You don't understand what Kratos went through in God of War, original God of War. If you're only seeing a cutscene, you only see what the cutscene is going to show you. The gameplay has those elements where you get more context to what they went through, their trials and tribulation. That's the power video games have. They can immerse you, get you more invested into what's going on outside of a cinematic.
Play a video game and you don't watch them is so hard to grasp for casuals. And what's hilarious is that these people don't even argue against their point. Their whole argument is to shut up and let us enjoy things. Stop criticizing us for enjoying shitty games. Just shut up and enjoy The Last of Us Part 2. Another thing...
Yeah, just shut up and enjoy The Last of Us Part 2. If you don't like it, well, here's the best thing you could do. Just turn it off and not play it. I love how everyone does, they just, these whole videos talk about how shitty the game was. But it's like, but you kept playing through it. Why'd you keep playing through it? Because you were compelled by the story to at least find out how things are going. Even a shitty game, like, supposedly The Last of Us Part 2, which I disagree. I think it's a great fucking story and has amazing gameplay. I think it's still compelling enough for even people who are hating it or want to finish it. If not, just to make sure that they could get their $60 worth out of it.
They call me out for is loving Synthetic Man. Like, me enjoying Synthetic Man discredits me or some shit. Like, whatever. Yeah, he called you guys out multiple times and it's getting you angry. Casuals ruin gaming because they buy the same shit.
People don't like Synthetic Man because he's a toxic person. I mean, you gotta remember, this is a guy who just literally did a video about the Xbox press conference, and he brought the woke meter back. And every time there was a black person, a woman on the screen, he put a woke point on it. It's like, the man is literally the epitome of an incel. He seems to hate everything that isn't a straight white man or a sexy white girl with big titties, bouncing on the screen.
Shit over and over, and they don't care about when politics are shoved in their faces, and they don't care about the quality of video games. If you're a casual gamer and you don't fit into these categories, good for you. You're an exception, but that's not the majority. Hardcore gamers aren't buying movie games, casuals are. And if they are buying these games and they're not a hardcore gamer, the Act Man sold his soul for 10 cents and praises whatever the mainstream is praising. Jim Sterling does the same thing, except he interjects left-wing politics into his videos. Yes, casuals are mostly left-leaning or centrist.
Who the hell cares about Jim Sterling? By the way, I always love these people who say, oh, I don't want them injecting politics into video games unless it's the politics I agree with. You notice how there's a lot of people who are conservative, didn't talk shit about, you know, Call of Duty being pro-America. They don't do that. But, you know, when it's a little left-leaning and say, hey, maybe white people have been a little mean to black people. Oh, that's politics. You can't check that. You can't check that. Can't do that. Can't do it. I always find it hilarious. It's not that you can't inject politics into video games. It's that you can't inject politics I disagree with. And the way they say, like, you inject politics into games. Yeah, again, going back to Last of Us Part 2, that game was being called woke. I'm like, how's this game woke? I legit sat there with one friend of mine. I'm like, tell me how this game is woke. Tell me. He's like, because it has lesbians. I'm like, okay, by that logic, every movie and every TV show and every video game that's had a gay couple or a gay couple option is woke. Okay, so Mass Effect 2 is woke then. Let's see here. Mass Effect, the Mass Effect series in general, woke. KOTOR, woke. Fallout New Vegas, woke. They ejected politics. They ejected politics into games. But you guys aren't complaining about those games. You want to know why? Because you like those games. You don't like The Last of Us Part 2. So you have to make up some kind of stupid reason to be like, oh, well, see, that's woke. But it's like everywhere else where you like the game, it's not woke. I always find it funny how people eject politics into games while complaining they don't want people to eject politics into games. I'm not saying there aren't politics in games. There are. There's been blatant examples of that. You know, something like Forspoken, for example. But those are not the common game. Those are the, I guess you would say, rare gem. Yes, the left are getting more bold putting, you know, their politics in games, but that's not always the case. Some developers out there, like Sony, like, you know, the Square Enix developers, you know, making Final Fantasy 16, they don't want to inject politics in their games. Maybe there's a little bit of the gay characters. Maybe there's a black character there who isn't just a token black character. Maybe they actually do something to these characters. You gotta remember, these are the same people out there who will tell you Miles Morales isn't Spider-Man, bluntly ignoring his entire character, bluntly ignoring the entire, you know, his entire gallery of villains, and ignoring one of the greatest, I would say two of the greatest fucking movies ever made for a superhero movie, if not just animated in general, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, saying he's not Spider-Man just because he's black. Just because they don't call him Spider-Man, they call him Miles Morales. That's because they're trying to distinguish them, dumbasses. That's how you distinguish someone from the rest of the Spider-Mans. It's calling him Miles Morales, calling him Peter B. Parker, calling him, you know, Spider-Punk, Spider-Gwen. It's more of just the, what's the best way to put it? It's the way to separate them from the pack. I don't know, sorry I went to that whole thing. I always do find it hilarious how people talk about they don't want politics in games, but they're the ones bringing up politics.
When you look at a Game Awards show and you see a fat green-haired bitch up in the microphone, you don't think they're casuals or left-leaning? I also didn't say all casuals are left-leaning. Casuals just don't care about the product. It's not that hard to understand.
They don't care about the product, but they support the product they enjoy. They go out and talk to other people about the games they enjoy, but they don't care. And yeah, not all casuals are left-leaning. A lot of them are also right-leaning too. What does politics have to do with anything about being a casual gamer?
Dan, bottom line is that you didn't like what I had to say and you dislike Bomb because of that. Because instead of wanting to make...
Dislike Bomb. Wouldn't know. I wouldn't know she was dislike Bomb because guess what? Dislikes are hidden for a reason. So people can make up bullshit. I can almost guarantee she didn't get dislike bombed. I almost want to fucking look into it. Because I don't think she actually got dislike bombed. I think like Sick the Eggman, she got a lot of criticism. And she doesn't like being criticized.
Gaming better, you casuals choose to blame everyone else for gaming going downhill instead of taking responsibility and admitting you're wrong. Casual gamer, definition, people who don't play video games as much as other people. It's not that hard to understand. If you're one
because they have these things called lives, or they're just not interested in the hardcore games like Diablo 4 or, you know, freaking Call of Duty. Maybe casual gamers just want something to relax to. That's the point of a hobby. To just sit back and enjoy something for a couple hours while you're not dealing with your kids screaming and changing diapers all the damn time. No way. Is that what makes people casual these days? Having lives?
Are those people who were in my comments that were like, oh, I played this and I played that and I'm a casual gamer? No, you're not. If there's people who play thousands of games and you care about what the medium is, then you're not a casual. You're just brainwashed to think gaming is better than it's always been, and it's not. Like, if you say The Last of Us is one of the greatest games ever made, then you're casual. I'm sorry, I'm just...
Nope, I'm a casual. I'm a casual. I'll bluntly admit that, I guess. Last of Us is one of the greatest games ever made. And, bitch, you ain't gonna convince me different. Just like I'm not going to convince you that this whatever game was a waste of your time. Look at this game. Oh my god. Maybe it's the video itself, but just, This game looks terrible. I wouldn't waste my time with it.
Saying that out right now. No one who is a hardcore gamer thinks that The Last of Us, or Forspoken, or God of War Ragnarok, or Uncharted 4 think they're great games because of the gameplay. No. What they
most people actually do think The Last of Us is pretty good because of the gameplay. People love the gameplay for God of War Ragnarok, and people love the gameplay for Uncharted 4. Yeah, remember, Uncharted 4 had a multiplayer element for a while. I think it's actually still active. I'm not 100% sure about that. And people loved it. Because the gameplay was that good. But hey, cherry pick a couple games, and that means that all of them are bad. Even though a game like Spider-Man 2018 has great gameplay, or a game like, I don't know, Final Fantasy 16. I played the demo. Great game. But okay, because they have story elements, because you have cinematics, that neglects the good gameplay, because they're story games. They're story time games. Whatever. I just need to get through this shit.
Is just a story. Then fucking watch a movie. Why do you care about a story so much? And you casuals want super realistic graphics.
Because I want to be entertained, you dumb fucking bitch. It's like that's the point of a video game, is to entertain you. Damn! Why do you eat food if you're hungry? Because you're hungry. Damn! God, that hurts my throat.
Why? And there's people saying, well, I don't care about graphics. Like, I'm talking about casuals.
Anyone tells you don't care about graphics is full of shit. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say graphics are like the main reason people play video games. But I am saying graphics matter. Come on, man. If graphics didn't matter, we'd still be playing 2 dots and a fucking... 2 sticks and a dot. If graphics don't matter, we still be on PS2 level graphics. Graphics matter. Because it pushes technology forward. Not saying graphics are the main point, the only reason, but they matter. They matter. And I'm tired of this idea that graphics don't matter. It's fucking stupid.
Who do, and that's a lot of them, because they won't go back and they play old games. If you recommend an old game to them, they won't do it. Proof?
Or they don't know how to get a hold of the console to play the old game. Or, and this is also a possibility, the game's too expensive, and they don't know how to use the emulator or ROMs. That's a possibility as well. Unless it's a, old game remastered for the new consoles, I don't see a lot of people buying those old games for a reason. Guess it's kind of hard to get their hands on sometimes, depending on the game.
Been around gaming for 15 years now, and I'll explain this later in the video. And for people who say that, oh, they just want movie games because that's how you get immersed in the world. No. Let me give you an example of a game called Borderlands. Yes, I'm gonna bring up Borderlands a lot in videos because that game is so freaking amazing. Borderlands 2 specifically. I get immersed in the world and I don't need cutscene bombarded in my face every fucking second of the game. That's such a stupid argument to make that's actually pretty incredible.
That's you, though. Not everyone has the same way of thinking as you. Duh. Some people need that cutscene. Sometimes they need that, break to put down the controller.
You don't need movie, cutscenes or whatever to get immersed in a world. The reason why Borderlands 2 has such an immersive world is because of the characters, because of the world itself, about how it looks, how it plays. There's so much about it that is so good that it gets you immersed. I never felt anything playing The Last of Us Part 2 or Uncharted or, Forspoken. I was never immersed in those worlds because they're so shit. And it was because of the cutscenes that it got me, not immersed. Again, just watch a movie. Yes, there are games out there like The Last Guardian and Borderlands have great graphics, but that's not why I play them. Because that's another thing, was that I was saying that casuals care about graphics, which they do. And then people are like, well, maybe they just care about graphics because they want the game to look. It's like, why do you care about the game looking good? Why does that matter?
Because if we did care about the game looking good, then the game would still be hard to kind of break that barrier between, what's it, the suspensive disbelief. Like, a lot of people, this is honestly got truth for me. If I can't relate to the character in a TV show or a game or whatever within, like, the first hour, I kind of just stop watching the show. Just being honest. And a part of what helps with that in games cases or, animation cases is how the characters look. The graphics, like I said, do matter. They matter. They don't matter like a shit ton, like they're the majority of what matters in a game. But it helps that the character looks like a character that's believable. It's the reason why some of those PS2 games I can't go back and play, like Final Fantasy X, because, oh my god. I don't even want to get into that.
Should be the gameplay that gets you immersed in the game, not the graphics. Why do you care? Like, I don't get it. If you want a game to look good, fine. But that shouldn't be the only reason why you play the game is because the graphics look amazing or highly realistic. Like, who cares? Watch a movie or an anime if you care about story and graphics. My god, why do you care? And for the people that tell me to shut up and just let these people enjoy stuff, you guys would be more entertained staring at a fucking wall. These people don't have arguments. These people like Brother Nier or Krillix who call me a bitch and a retard, or a right-wing crazy psychopath that thinks there's politics and everything, and think that their arguments are valid.
Because you are. Because you are inserting politics into everything, just like Synthetic Man does. And people are tired of it. I'm tired of it. We are tired of politics being injected into everything. And it's just frustrating. We're tired of videos like this where you're trying to discredit people for enjoying something they like. How about this? You stay in your corner of the internet, I stay in my corner of the internet, we don't interact unless we have to. How about that? How about you just sit there in the corner and just enjoy what you enjoy and I enjoy what I enjoy. We don't talk shit about each other, we just don't even acknowledge each other exists. We might as well be a spider outside. How about that? But no. Because people like you have to get aggressive because you want to have a superiority feeling. You have to start just, saying, oh, if you like this, that means you're not a real gamer. Fuck that. How about that? Gamers are just gamers. How about if I play a video game for 10 hours or 2 hours? It doesn't matter. I played a game. My mom goes to casinos all the time. Guess what technically she is? She's technically a gamer. She even plays freaking games on her phone. She plays Plants vs. Zombie quite a bit, actually. She used to play a lot of Angry Birds. She's a gamer, too. I actually got even her hooked on The Sims at one point. Way back in the day. My dad used to play freaking first-person shooters all the time. Duke Nukem 3D, Redneck Rampage, Quake 2. I think he had Quake 1. It took him a whole year to beat Half-Life. I come from a family of people who like video games. They wouldn't be called hardcore gamers. They're casuals. What's wrong with being a casual gamer? You like what you like and just enjoy what you like. Nothing wrong with that. No, if no one's getting hurt, no one's getting harmed, no one's bleeding, no one's got a broken arm or leg, what harm are you doing? Enjoying a hobby that you enjoy.
The problem with these videos is that they never give criticism. They either just say strawmans or exaggerate what I say to make me sound worse than I am. Yes, casuals do care about graphics critics because they won't go back and play old games. It's obvious that modern gaming has gone to shit, that you won't admit it because again it would require you to actually take responsibility and realize yours the problem. And I'm not the schizo for thinking there's politics in video games. There's always politics in video games.
Nobody buying the products. The problem is, certain shadowy groups of people have amassed so much money that they can fund games that sell 0 copies. Things like the Epic Game Store, paying developers millions of dollars to have exclusivity, and then the game bombs on their storefront because nobody likes it. And of course I have to mention...
You seriously are using Synthetic Man as a source? The same man who, not that long ago, was saying shit like, oh, there's kind of like this, that how there's these shady corporations just funding games for woke points. If they have more woke points, that means they get more funding from the games. Like, Jesus Christ. This is some conspiracy level shit, man. And I'm just gonna say it right now, Forspoken didn't get more money because it had a black character as the lead. It got more freaking money because the developers wanted to waste more money on it. Star Citizen, most expensive game ever made. It's not getting that money because it has a black woman with a big belly. No, it's getting that money because people are dumb enough to keep playing the game. $100 for a real life spaceship in the game, guys.
Mention it again, BlackRock and ESG. Companies literally have a social credit score that if they insert propaganda into their products, they get money. This is a fact, people. This is not something I made up. There's a reason so many channels have talked about it now. It's basically common knowledge for anybody who's not living with their head buried in the sand, but these are Twitter degenerates we're talking about here.
I also don't think I want to take advice from someone like Brother Nier, who constantly was proven to drag people in the drama when they didn't need to be, and is overall a fucking slimy person.
Oh
He
my
also uses
God.
that funny Ahiko face as an avatar in his podcast, and is an idiot when it comes to arena shooters. These people are in a hive mind that repeat the same stuff over and over because they're mad that someone with 500 subs had a different opinion from them. Casuals didn't like what I had to say and just disliked Bomb without even wanting a conversation. So, well, let's move on to the people who responded to me. Vincent Martin, Krillix, and Brother Nier. These people are so stupid, it's actually incredible. Their videos just repeat the same shit over and over. Oh, you're getting too emotional, you're a retard, you actually know what gaming is like. Casual started the industry. Okay, come on, the last one is dumb. No, people. People who ran the gaming industry cared about video games, not casual.
Except casuals did make gaming where it is. I don't think little Timmy was spending, all his allowance money on. Actually, probably was spending all his money on, freaking video games. But he wasn't buying every game coming out on the market. He was buying a big game that, people, little kids also were talking about, like Super Mario World. Let's just be real here, man. We're the first. This is like us people born in the 90s. We were the first generation really to be born with video games like in our hands. Video games were more acceptable in the 90s. So, I don't know, this shit's fucking boring to me. Sorry, guys. This woman is such a pain to get through. I just need to get through it. Come on, TPG. Push through.
Casuals weren't even a thing back then. And yeah, I'm gonna get emotional, my favorite medium went down to the shitter. The worst part I heard was when Vincent said, you shouldn't hate the player, hate game. Well, who do you think buys these games to get them made? Vincent Martin, I'm gonna focus on you because ironically I hate your video the most. You focus on a YouTuber who shadowed me for 5 seconds, and then your entire video was just you misunderstanding my points. First of all, you don't care about video games. I can tell you don't care about video games. Tell me to calm down when people keep buying the same shit over and over when they know it's going to be bad. Like, fuck you. I am gonna get emotional. The reason I use Manga Common's video for that example of nostalgia eaters is that it proves that dumbasses like Manga Common will make a 20-minute video calling a game bad, and in the same video, he's gonna buy it anyway. You don't think that's a problem? See, this is something that Vince and the others won't understand, is
Dude, why is she in that shark, I think a Shark Tale clip in for like a brief second? And audio sounds fucking bad too. I haven't watched Vincent Martin video, to be fair. I think maybe I have, I just didn't know it was Vincent Martin. But, Lee, Get over it. Someone made a video talking shit about you. I've had people talk shit about me. You know what you do? You take that criticism and just listen. Okay, just because people don't like the same games you do, just because they like video games first, you know, their cinema and storytelling, doesn't make them wrong. Everyone is allowed to like what they like. Oh my god, I feel like I'm just looping a circle here.
Care about video games. To everyone who watched the original video, I care about video games. To y'all,
So do I. I care about video games, but I don't care about the games you care about. I don't care about this. I think this is a Death by Daylight ripoff. I'm going to say Death by Daylight just because I have played a bit of that. I'm sorry, man. I like my cinema stories. I like my, you know, cinema games. Nothing wrong with that. I also like first-person shooters, real-time strategy games, and role-playing games. So, I care about games. The channel is called That PlayStation Gamer for a reason. Because I care about PlayStation, and I care about games. I'm the one person out there who will be like, you know what? You know, if I'm called, I guess I'm labeled as a PlayStation fanboy, because it's a channel. But I'm the one PlayStation fanboy out there be like, you know, guys, Halo Infinite wasn't that bad. Wasn't that great, but it wasn't that bad. So, hey guys, Starfield, it actually looks pretty damn good. I'm a little worried about Bethesda and a 60 FPS, but you know what? That's fine, because this game looks great regardless. I care about games. Sorry, as far as like corporations go, I really don't care that much. You wanna know why I don't care about the corporations? Because they're faceless. So I just call myself That PlayStation Gamer because that's the games I play the most. PlayStation games. What can I say? I like my story time. Yeah, again, can you tell I'm getting bored? Can you tell I'm kind of struggling to find anything to talk about?
well, video games is a pastime. To you, it's just a hobby. You know, you don't care about it.
Yeah! Because that's what it is for everyone. You don't live off video games. It's not literally in your blood. Your life isn't reliant on a video game being good or not. You can live if you play a bad game. You can live if you play a good game. Oh my god.
You guys won't understand how great we had it in the early 2000s. You don't act-
Oh my god! These fucking nostalgia eaters. That's actually one phrase first I actually liked. Nostalgia eaters. That's what she is! She's a nostalgia eater! Oh my god, that's what she is! Oh, she reminds me of the fucking, like, grandpa on a porch saying, "Oh, little Timmy, your generation doesn't know what it's like to have a great, you know, times. I remember the day when I could get a Coca-Cola for a nickel, but now you kids now have to pay $1. I remember the day when Mom and Pa would make apple pies and Dad would just sit down with a cigar and just be cooling in a windowsill. Oh, I remember when baseball was the American pastime. Now you kids these days, you play that damn soccer and hockey and other stuff. That's what she sounds like. A nostalgia here doesn't just have to be about gaming. It's someone who's nostalgic for the old days and thinks that everyone now has a shitty compared to that back then. When the fact is, there was shit back then. It was just as bad, if not worse, than what we go through now. You were just young. You didn't remember it that way. And there was people back in those days that were nostalgic for the 20s. My point being is, nostalgia's a hell of a drug, folks. Don't get hooked on it. And if you do get hooked on it, make sure, try to lower the dose every once in a while. Because, you know, she talks about how games were great in the 2000s. Honestly, dude, going back and playing some of those games now, I think they were dog shit. I was like, holy crap, I like this? I feel like this was that despicable meme, fucking meme. You know, oh my god, this is terrible. You like this? That's me, like, going back in time and like, oh my god, you liked Godzilla Save the Earth? Ugh, not a good game. Not at least for modern me.
actually care about video games, because if you did, you would know how great it was back then. Yes, in the early 2000s, we did get bullied for playing video games. Think about all the movies or
I got bullied. Dude, I didn't get bullied for playing video games. I got bullied because I was saying stupid shit. I got a feeling that's what happened to her.
television shows where they made gamers look like these nerds who live in their parents' basements and don't care about themselves. Where do you think the nerd stereotype came from? I'm just gonna say it right here and now. To all you who respond to my video, you're a fucking idiot. You guys can keep your heads buried in the dirt thinking that I'm wrong, even though you can see.
Again, I didn't get bullied for being a gamer. In fact, I made a lot of friends because I was a gamer. Maybe it's because I wasn't the walking stereotype. Maybe it's because I actually had social skills. Maybe I actually knew how to talk to people outside of calling them idiots because they disagree with me. Is that a possibility? I think so.
The downfall of gaming right in front of your eyes, and you refuse to accept the truth. Yes, The Last of Us Part 2 and Forspoken failed because they focused on the political messages more than they...
Did Last of Us Part 2 fail, though? 10 million copies sold? You know, for a game that supposedly failed, did surprisingly well. 10 million copies sold is a pretty big milestone for a flop. Forspoken definitely flopped because the studio shut down, but last I checked, Naughty Dog's still around. Is The Last of Us Part 2 really a flop, though? 10 million copies sold. Granted, the game went on sale a lot, but, you know, still a sale.
Game itself, but no, there's no politics in gaming, even though Synthetic Man literally gave proof that they put political stuff in video games.
And Synthetic Man is a biased source. He is injecting politics into stuff. Remember, this is the same guy who gave a woke point to a game just because he had a female protagonist. Despite the fact we've had female protagonists way back in the good old gaming days. Remember Metroid? Was that woke points back then? Remember Lara Croft? Remember Chun-Li? Remember all these other female characters? Was that woke back then? But now it's woke because now the political spectrum has changed where women want to be included into video games even though they already were included. Just saying. I know plenty of female nerds too. I know plenty of female gamers out there. Thanks to the fact I used to be a Kingdom Hearts fan. Yeah, self-admitted former Kingdom Hearts fan. And a lot of girls liked Kingdom Hearts because Disney, Final Fantasy. Can't lie, man. Sephiroth looking good these days.
Profits. I also never said all casuals. If you're a casual gamer but you don't care about graphics and you like playing good games, good for you. You're not a classic casual. Congratulations, but you're not the majority. My proof this is that I've been around gaming culture for almost 15 years now. I've been playing video games since I was 6 years old, and since then, I've been into gaming for 15 years. I think I know a thing or two about how gaming works. I also hate how Krillix and Brother Nier have this smugness in their voice. Like, they just sound so smug, like they know everything. Well, calling me retarded and a bitch is not an argument. You can actually tell I won the argument when they stooped to name calling. I doubt they even watched the entire video till they responded to it. I'm not gonna go over comments because it's pointless and there's too many retards to respond to, so I guess this is where I do my conclusion statement. Look, I understand that people had issues with a video, and I'm not saying for instance that it's perfect, but it was clearly an emotional piece. Yes, these are—
When tell through your voice. Yeah, your voice sounds so emotionless. You might as well be a fucking a big block of ice shaped as a human.
my opinions and my experiences. Like, the problem is you guys are taking the video too seriously. Like, this wasn't an analysis about the gaming industry. Whatever. They're gonna hate this video and take it out of context anyway. I'm done. I'm just done. I hate idiots, but I despise retards. Yes, there's a difference. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. I know you clicked off 8 seconds in, but I just had to do this because, like, that video got so much hate from casuals and they just did a lot of straw mans, the usual stuff. Well, stay sipping for Synthetic Man, folks. I'm AnnaWaifu, the biggest simp on YouTube, signing out.
Well, that's her video, and like I said, I could not disagree with her more. But you know, at the same time, that's her hill to die on. She wants to sip the first Synthetic Man. By the way, that looks terrible. That, oh god, that does, ugh. You know, her hill to die on. It's her right. She can voice her opinion. But at the same damn time, I'm allowed to voice my opinion. So, thank you guys for watching. I know this was pretty lengthy. I know I also started ranting and rambling a bit. I'm going to be honest, a lot of this was a drag to get through. So, that's why I didn't make an edit video. Because if I had to make an edit video, it would have taken much longer. This was just quicker, easier to do. So, what you guys think of this video? What do you think of her video? I thought it was terrible. Terrible take. But at the same time, it's her hill to die on. You know, I think cinematic games have a place. I think video games as a whole are actually doing better than they have before. Yeah, there's parts in the industry that are bad. Definitely in the AAA space. But that's not saying that, you know, that negates like AA games or the good AAA games or good indie games. We have now more games out there than we've ever had before. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's good that we have many different types of games out there too. The only problem is if you're only stuck on one console, you only get access to so many of these games. But even then, there's still a lot out there for everyone. The fucking Christ. I was just playing Jurassic Park Evolution 2 on the PlayStation 5. That's a fucking sim-like game on a console. I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see the day also Diablo be on the fucking console. So, yeah. Gaming is doing better than it's ever done before. There's just parts of it that suck. Just like every other industry out there. Just like movies, just like books, just like television. There's good and there's bad. Sometimes you just gotta take the good with the bad. Sometimes you just gotta take the bad with the good. Till next time, guys, this is that PlayStation Gamer sign out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all YouTube algorithm BS. Peace out and have a good day.